Hey, it's Ramey here at UMI Performance. We just got done with the UMI Stage 2 Power Tour package on our 1978 Cutlass build. It does need some wheels though. Dustin and I are going to use common hand tools and explain how to best measure for wheel fitment on your car. So Dustin's Malibu has US Mag 117s on it.
Yep.
So he was kind enough to bring a set of them in for us to look at. So the first thing we want to talk about is backspace. So the backspace on your wheels, Dustin?
5 1/4.
Okay. So if we go like this, the backspace is measured by a straight edge here. And you're going to go from the straight edge into there. When you do that, that number is the backspace.
Correct.
So tell us the offset number on your wheel.
So the offset on this one is +1 millimeter.
So we have the center line of the tire right here.
Yep.
So if the wheel mount pad was exactly here, it would be 0 offset. So +1 means it's 1 millimeter that way.
Correct.
Yeah, so on the UMI cars, we always add 1/8 of an inch spacers so that we have a little bit of leeway. We never want to get out into the fender lip any more than we have to. So if we're tucked in just a tiny bit tighter, we can always add an 1/8 inch spacer. We got some wheels here. We have Dustin's original wheel we talked about earlier, and then a few from the UMI Race shop. So Dustin, tell us about your wheel again.
It is the US Mag 18 by 9.5.
And remind us of the offset.
It is a +1 offset.
+1. So we're going to move the pad out this way towards the spokes, basically.
Correct.
And what's the tire size?
This is a 275 35 18.
And here in the middle, also 275 35 18. Then you can see the difference on the section width here. This tire is a little taller. It's a 275 40 18. So this wheel and tire is actually used on one of our street autocross type 2nd gen Firebirds. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. So you do some autocross on yours, right?
I've dabbled a little bit.
Dabbled, yes. Yeah. With the UMI Stage 4 and a ton of power. So yeah. I'd say you're doing a little more than dabbling, but we'll call it dabbled.
Yeah.
So we run this weld on the green machine sometimes, 275 35 18. This is 18 by 9.5 yet again, but it's 5 3/4 backspacing. So that's the quote unquote good backspacing that moves the spokes out towards the front. So this weld is kind of a mid-price wheel, pretty strong, pretty good for what we use it for. But the big daddy is the Forge Line. So Forge Line is the official wheel of UMI Motorsports Park. They don't get no better, as they say. This is on the 40 section width tire, and it's also 18 by 9.5, 5 3/4 backspace.
Yes.
So basically these wheels are all pretty much the same flavor size-wise.
So as far as price-wise and materials, the cast aluminum wheel, which is normal, then we go to a forged wheel. Normally they'll start stepping up in price and strength as you move up through. And then you got your custom Big Daddy Forge Line 3-piece forged wheel that are really nice. The 18 by 9.5 inch wheels that I brought along that fit on my G-body fit very well. They have the 5.29 backspace with a +1 offset.
Yep.
And they bolted right on with no rubbing issues.
Yeah, so the 5.6s actually were tucked in too far and they hit the frame on this car. So probably gonna have to go with a UMI 3061 frame notch kit to get the frame out of the way to work with the weld wheels.
So
the size, the backspace, the offset, like how do you measure this stuff?
Okay. You're gonna need a straight edge. You're gonna need a square. And then probably a good thing to have would be a plumb bob so you can get the drop measurement for the front of the fender. So the first thing we wanna do is measure the axle flange to the frame. And that gives us an absolute maximum wheel backspace of 5.5. And so to get the front, we're going to drop the plumb bob from the inside of the fender lip to the axle flange. And that gives us what?
5 1/4.
5 1/4. So a total of 11.
So Dustin, on the UMI green machine, we actually did a little bit of fender rolling with an Eastwood roller. So let's take a measurement to the outside to get kind of what our theoretical maximum is.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go here on here. We'll check our max there. Looks like about 6 1/4, so it looks like we gained about an inch. I don't know that we could go out the whole way, but we might be able to get an extra 3/4 inch.
Yep, and that'll give us a little bit more wiggle room.
Yep. So Dustin,
Yes, sir.
we got done with all the measurements on the car.
Yep.
Everyone talks about wheel offset, wheel measurements, all that kind of stuff, but there's actually another thing we need to consider.
Tire bulge.
Tire bulge. So the tire is actually wider than the wheel. So we have our long acre gauges here, UMI stickers, and we do all our own alignments here at the UMI Race Shop, so we have this kind of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and put this on here, and Dustin's going to take a measurement of the tire.
11 inches.
11 inches, so 18 by 9.5 sounds a lot like 9.5, but we actually have to worry about the maximum distance of 11 inches.
Yes.
Okay everyone, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. You can check out umiperformance.com for all the latest products. And if you have any questions, our sales and tech teams are ready to help.